Hi there! Welcome to this week's Pick a Card reading, which is What is Blocking You? And this one is timeless. So this one is like, what is blocking your manifestations? What is blocking your progress? What is blocking your success? What is possibly blocking your health? Whatever it is that you've got going on, even if it's something I didn't example here that you feel like is blocking you, this is a perfect reading for you. And it is timeless, so it will be perfect whenever you shall land upon it. I'm Seqkat from Seqkat'sEnlightenmentJoyment.com, and I'm glad to have you here with me. Now go ahead and take a moment and look down in the cards and get a feel for which one is tugging at you. So we'll be looking at Spirit Cat 1, Spirit Cat 2, or Spirit Cat 3. You can take a slow, deep, low belly breath to kind of align your ego back to your higher self to help you tune in if you like. By all means, use your own techniques of what works for you. You might find your eyes keep falling upon the same one. You can test it by looking away and see if your eyes fall back on that same one. You can surrender to your higher self and ask and close your eyes, and you may be given the very impression of the card that's for you. And if you by chance feel like you landed upon the wrong one, try another one, because sometimes our ego does get in the way. And if you need more time than I'm affording you here, by all means, feel free to pause the video. Okay, I will meet you at your Spirit Cat. Okay, welcome. If you chose Spirit Cat number 1 for this week's Pick a Card reading, what is blocking you? Which is a timeless reading. Now keep in mind, this is a general reading, and I have this tuned to many of you in your unique relative realities. So tune in to what is aligning with your particular story. And then do personal readings if you would like one of those, and you can find the links to those in the description box below. So your theme card is Balance. Meet Viro Tiptoe Sky. She can balance perfectly with an inner precision and assurance. She leans one way and then the other, constantly adjusting and learning where her center lies. She understands the dichotomies, work and play, togetherness and solitude, inner reflection and outward expression, striving and letting go, accepting and changing, freedom and discipline, reason and intuition, spiritual expansion and grounding. They go on and on. Let Viro help you to see what areas of your life are out of balance and what shifts you can make to return to a graceful equilibrium. What a perfect answer to the question, what's blocking you? Yes, so with my first impressions with this was obviously you are out of balance somewhere. You're putting too much focus on one area of your life that is causing blocks to be filtrated. A lot of times it's very natural for the ego to be focused on the negative. A lot of times there may be some healing to do that is knocking you out of balance, which can cause blocking. We'll dig into the tarot to get some specifics for you. So I'm going to pull up the entire row here for you, and then I will start reading the cards and expand upon it. And keep in mind, this could be whatever you're looking for. It could be blocking your manifestations, blocking your success, blocking your health, blocking progress. However it fits you, keep that in mind. Okay, you got your row. It's pretty quickly. Alrighty. So, yes. Alright, for some of you, I see that you have gone through a big shift change, something that knocked out. We've got the Tower card here and Tower card in reverse. So there was something that we weren't listening to, the spiritual nudges. That's when Spirit kind of kicks you in the ass and makes a big shift and change in your life, and the ego doesn't like it. This may go hand in hand with the card following it. There is a failure here, and we're really focused on the failure. Like I said earlier about the balance, we'll get focused on one point and not enough balance on the other. So when they're talking about like reason and intuition, for an example here, so we'll be looking at the reality focused on I have failed. Now ego, what it likes to do, take the data of the past, what it's done, it will always forever do. So I failed once, I failed more, shall fail. Don't buy it. That's when we've got to learn. Failure is learning. So I like to use the example when a baby learns how to walk. Does it just start miraculously walking on the first go and it can walk forevermore? No. What does it do? It fails. It falls and gets back up. And it tries again and falls and gets back up. It's a little term I like to call failing up, because that's what we do. We learn from our failures. So don't let ego trick you into, oh my gosh, I failed, I shall forever fail. In whatever area it is that you're struggling, don't let ego block you in that very way by staying focused on that failure, and that's all that it can do. So that is one of the things you need to resolve right there, is the issue and the focus on the failure. We've got the Empress here in reverse too, so that's like a calling. That can be a calling. Let's nurture the ego, validate its pains and fears with the failing. It's okay that it failed. It does have the pains with it. It might need to express those pains, because when we block the feelings, then that will also cause the blockages. Okay, I failed. Sometimes we're not exactly looking at it, but you're subconsciously looking at it and don't even know you're doing it, and it's blocking other things. So we need to honor those feelings. They are valid. Failed, it sucked. Yes, we need to honor that. It did suck. That is a truth. Don't lie about it to yourself. That's not going to fix anything. Numbing it out and hiding from it and running from it is kind of like lying about it. We don't want to do that. We want to honor it, feel it, move through the emotion, because you can't hide from it. It's always there. You have to move through the emotion. So give yourself a little bit of loving, mothering, nurturing there to do that. Interestingly enough, I'll be really interested to see the clarification on this. Okay, so what's blocking this? We have something that we are aligned with some personalities here, some people that we're teaming up, and it looks good, and it's leading to our happily ever after. So this might be some reassurance that you have that's coming in, affirmation that what you're trying to create, manifest, or the success that you're looking for is there, and it's available. You just have to get yourself into balance. Even though things are being blocked, this is what to clear to bring this into the blocking. And I'm sorry, we have some nice, lovely, loud car out there. It sounds like a race car, but it's not a race car, but I apologize if you hear that. So you are at the door of here making a decision. And I think that's making a conscious decision of definitely following that which is, I do apologize for this car, following that which is right for you, going for what you want. So whatever it is you're trying to create, and success in whatever it is, do go for it. You are definitely being called to that. And it is looking, all of that is looking successful. They're all upright. You're just having to work on those blockages there. One thing you want to do is you want to tune in and listen to your intuition for this. So you can definitely go in, ask your higher self, ask your guides, your angels, your guardian angels for guidance and help. And they can help you with whatever it is you need to heal, clear, to get out of that blockage. So if you're needing to feel those feelings and you're struggling with that, they can help you do that. If you're getting that focus on that failure and that ego is in really dire fear and it can't let go of that fear of failing again, if it tries again, ask the angels to help you clear that so that it can be easier, because you do have your happily ever after, attaining your desires, being with aligned personalities awaiting you. You've got it available. So let's go ahead now and clarify. Get some more specifics for you. And as I shuffle, again, I'm going to do another entire round. I'm going to start reading for you. But I would love to give a shout out to my subscribers. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with me. And thank you to the new subscribers that have joined me. I'm so glad to have you here with me. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for joining me too. I'm glad to have you here. And I want to definitely give special thanks to all your likes and your subscribes and your comments and bell notifications. For all that helps me out here in the YouTube algorithm. And that helps my channel to grow and helps me serve others and reach out and help more. So thank you for helping me help others. I really appreciate it. And I want to give a special thanks to those comments, as I really enjoy those, as I'm reading in the dark for many of you, so I love to see how they are relative to you. Okay, so we got all of your clarification cards. They're coming up quick and easy for me tonight. Okay, so yeah, the Tower card. Okay, yeah. Somebody got deceived. They felt betrayed. Somebody felt like they got an offer from somebody they thought was true of their heart. And it did not turn out to be that. And I apologize for that, guys. That's a painful place. So this could be somebody might have maybe made a business offer and screwed you. This could, because it wasn't of the heart. They were looking out for themselves. This could be romance. They were like a player and deceived you. Somehow you got deceived. You got played. It wasn't of the heart. And this was the Tower that knocked you down. So with the Tower coming in reverse, this kind of tells me you were getting nudges. You were getting little intuitive warnings. Hey, don't go here. And when we don't listen to that, that's when the big tower really falls. So the good news is, though, the tower fell. You're not stuck in that position where they're continuing to play in you. So that is probably right there, the failure that followed the tower. Also, the good news is, this is bringing you, being definitely clarified with the other card that we had up here, which was following it happily ever after. People that you are aligned with. That is the very same card that is clarifying the failure card. So don't stay so focused on this failure. So it looks like you're having an opportunity working with others befalling you again. But what's blocking you is you're really scared, understandably so. Like I said, you've got to validate the ego because you got played before. So when this card comes in reverse here, that means we are putting focus on that failure. We can't get our eyes off that failure. So what's happening is your ego's like, I'm not playing with nobody else. I'm not doing any other deals, nothing like such. You need projects, work, whatever it is, maybe even relationships. I'm not going there again. I'm not getting screwed again. But this focus is what's blocking you, because what is really before you is true opportunity of people that are in alignment with you. That's what you're being assured. I told you in the earlier cards, you're being assured of the success. It's just the block is your perspective of it. We're going to change your perspective. Yeah, and like I said, the Empress. Now for here, the Empress is in reverse, and so this could be an invitation for needing to nurture yourself. We also got the Seven of Swords. Someone deceived you. And it is very possible someone like of a mother figure deceived you. I'm very sorry for that. This could even been a female authoritative figure, like in a place of work, something along those lines. You're gonna have to figure out how this fits your particular story. It could definitely be relationship. This could be mother-in-law. This could be your own mother, mother-like character. Someone that's in authority, someone that has some superiority. They deceived you. Someone that's supposed to take care of you. Not only are they in this place of authority and superiority, in that position, they hold responsibility. And someone's gotten betrayed by this type of character, and this is making it difficult. But again, the newness that you have coming is people that are aligned with you. And the thing is, when this person has failed you, it is okay because they've been knocked out with the Tower card. This is going to lead to your happily ever after of finding the people that are truly in alignment with you and true in your heart. So this is your happily ever after. Now you're confused by this because your ego is focused on the failure. And what we want to do is turn this upright and look at your dreams, look at your desires. What is it you're wanting? Because that's what you're supposed to be going for. We had this over here. So you do need to look at what you really do want and let go of the confusion because you were deceived. So it's like, well, why did this happen? They seemed this way. That's just where, and I know the ego hates this, you have to come into acceptance. Ego hates to accept. I understand this. But ego needs to come into acceptance. Okay, this is who they are. This is what they did. This is their own egoic fears that they played in. We just have to accept that. But it doesn't mean that you are stuck forevermore. The only way you will remain stuck with the aftermath of what has occurred is if you don't allow yourself to move forward with a new opportunity because of the experience with this old. So definitely want to flip this confusion to right side up to choosing your dreams. Again, you're being reassured that you're going to come into play with people that are aligned with you. And yes, here we are, starting a new journey with this, starting a new adventure, one of your passionate heart's desires, what fires you up, and they are showing you of success here with that. And this is what you're mulling over. You're mulling over a decision. You have this decision before you, and you're really mulling over it. And what you're being asked here is to let go of the perspective of what happened in the past with the failure. Accept that, yes, you were played, but let go of the idea that you will be played by every single body else who comes before you. You will not. There are some people that truly are good, that truly are of the heart, and do truly operate from the heart. Those that do not operate from the heart are in their own fears and pains, but you will find some people that can truly operate there. So that's what you're being invited to let go of, that perspective when you make this decision. And then following that is like, yes, go for what you want. Move towards that. This is what you're being offered. And there, by listening to that, this is the listening to your higher self. This is what your higher self is calling you to do. And this is upright. So you've got some intuition nudging you to heed your higher self. Your higher self knows what will make you thrive. Your higher self knows what will make you happy. And if you want to feel safe, it's hard to feel safe with other people, and other people can fail you. Your higher self will not fail you. When it comes to you and another person and your ego, another person can fail you, and but trust me, your ego can fail you. Your higher self will not fail you, but you have to be willing to listen to your higher self, and you have to be willing to heed your higher self. You have to be willing to surrender to your higher self. Ego likes to keep a control out of its own fears, and that's what gets it in trouble, when it makes its own decisions based on its own fears and past data, instead of trusting the higher self. The higher self sees all the let and what is true. Your ego doesn't see things that are true. It bases everything from that perspective, going back to this card that you need to let go of. Ego's perspectives always come from the past. What it has experienced is how it paints what it looks at right now. What somebody else has experienced, has come to knowledge of, is how it perceives what is before it right now. It always uses past data to make a judgment and an understanding of what is before it now. But the higher self sees all. It sees your future, and I put future here, linear time, welcome to planet 3D Earth, the only place with linear time. So it sees all things, where the ego is limited to past linear vision, past data, past experiences. Okay, so you're being invited to heed your intuition, which takes us back to getting your happily ever after, which we had over here, this very same card, the Ten of Cups. You can have your happily ever after, but you've got to listen to your higher self, surrender fully to it, and definitely heed your intuition. And this particular card, let me throw this in here because for some of you, it may be relative, represents Pisces, whether it be you or someone else with whomever you're engaged in the situation. Okay, so let's go ahead. This is not a bad reading, guys. Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and wrap you up with an Angels and Ancestor card. You just got a little bit of healing to do. A little bit of understanding as to what is blocking you is the past and ego's persistence of looking at that past and wanting to base all its decisions on this past. And all it needs to do is surrender to the higher self and trust the higher self. And we got the Druid. Hold the space, yes. When you go into the Druid, this is like, and the Druid is about manifestation. Holding that space, going back to nature. And the nature for you is who you really are. And who you really are is a love, light, source energy. Your essence is love and light. Ego was created to feel and experience this game that your source is playing through you. You are the avatar for source, and that is your ego. And it plays through the feelings and emotions, and it plays with its experiences. That is not who it really is. Go back to who you really are and hold that space of who you really are and come into that space. I would also suggest going into meditating and feeling that, feeling who you really are, surrendering to your higher self, having communication with it, and asking for guidance and help. That would really assist you and help you. Hold that space. Come back into knowing you. When you hold that space for who you really are, you feel the joy of you, and all the joy is in you. All the prosperity is in you. And when you can tune into that, then you bring that out to your environment, because your environment then reflects that back to you. Because your outer world is what is within you, is constantly reflecting that. So go back and tune in. Breathe. Put your hands together. Feel the true essence of you, your true energy. And that'll get you back on track. It's really a good reading, guys. Just a little bit of work to do. It's very positive. You got this. I believe in you. Until next time, much love and much light. Okay, welcome. If you chose Spirit Cat number 2 for this week's Pick a Card reading, what is blocking you? And this reading is timeless. So keep in mind, this is a general reading, so I have this tuned to many of you and your unique relative stories. So tune in to what is in alignment with your particular story. And if I do personal readings, if you would like one of those, and you can find the links to those in the description box below. So for your theme card, you have Freedom. Meet Lucy. She's awake even in her dreams. One of her favorite things to do is to fly in a lucid dream. It is the most natural, free, and expansive feeling. You can go to outer space, imaginary lands, deep under the sea, to the top of Mount Everest, even through the earth itself, propelled simply by the power of your mind and your will. This little kitty is calling you to embrace that unbound freedom of flight and dreams. What is your wildest dream? Your craziest, most heart-expanding, joy-filled plan A. If you were completely free, what would you do? So this is a perfect question for this, or perfect answer to this question. So what is blocking you? So again, what is blocking you? What is blocking your success? What is blocking your manifestations? Which I'm really hearing with this theme card. Sounds like with this theme card, we're working with people here that have manifestations, but we're blocking. Or at least we have desires, but we feel like our desires are getting blocked. And it sounds like, for example here, they're putting the focus on plan A. We're putting too much energy in our plan B, not putting enough trust into plan A, enough focus into having our desire, of visualization, enough personal creation, because we have those beliefs that we can't have what we want. Very typical of ego. Ego's looking out for that survival, while your higher self is always calling you to thrival. So let's go deeper and go into the tarot. So I'm going to pull up an entire row of the tarot, and then I will start reading for you. What do you really want? The question is coming for that impression. That is something you really need to focus on. What do you really want? If you had all the money in the world, I think I see a flipped card. Yes, I do. All the money in the world and all the support in the world, everybody would agree to you and think it's great that you're doing this. What do you want? What would you go for? A lot of times we won't allow ourselves to look at that because we're just scared we can't have it, and we don't want to feel disappointment of not attaining it. Oh yeah, we're really struggling here, guys. Oh yeah, you can see this. All right. Some of us are feeling really overburdened and overwhelmed, and we do need to get some help with this. We're feeling trapped in a situation that we're not liking because we're not getting our desires, and that is some of the situation too. You're putting all your focus on the trap. You're putting your focus on what is happening now. So it's another thing ego likes to do. I call it the forever never complex. What is happening now forever will. What is not happening now that I want never will. That's how ego looks at things, but it's not true. Ego looks at everything based upon data, so don't buy it. That's some of us making you feel trapped. We've got to let go of that. What is before you now, you can come to accept it. Okay, this is before me now. Accept it. Don't push against it, don't resist it, because that will perpetuate it, and that can cause blocks too. So we want to accept it and allow it to be and be okay with it. But understand that you can have your preferences and you can move towards that. This also represents Capricorn, if this is relative to you or maybe whomever may be engaged in a situation, just in case. Okay, so some of us are involved in some nostalgic memories of some type, and they're causing some pain. And that could be what's keeping you from moving forward also. That could be blocking some of you. So some of you might be wanting to move in a direction of the new, but we still have one foot locked into the old. So there is something of the past that we loved, and we had fond memories of that, and we enjoyed that. But you are now. You are in the now, but your ego's like, no, I want to go back there, the good old days. That will definitely block you attaining what you desire now. And that would be my gerbil chewing, so that won't drive you crazy. Let me fix it. Okay, I'm back. I apologize if that was really loud, what you did hear. I'll probably catch that in editing and cringe. But anyway, so some of us are a little stuck in the past, and that is what's blocking you from moving forward. So when it comes to memories like that, attachment is one of the issues that will cause problems. And I understand all about the attachment, that ego really gets attached to that and wants to hold on to things forever. I've had to work with myself extensively in those areas myself as well. We have to understand that we are an eternal being, who you really are. You are source, love, light, energy. You are the source who came to have an experience through your avatar, hello, your ego. And each moment is an experience. And our ego gets an attachment and almost wants to repeat some moments over and over and over again. And you can in your memories, and you can visit your memories and look upon your memories fondly. But don't let them make it so nostalgic that you miss them, that those memories actually cause you pain because you're missing what was. You can rebuild and experience new things that can offer you much happiness too, but will block that happiness of the new by holding our focus on to the happiness of the old and thinking that is the only place we can have the happiness is in the past. So that could be one of the things that is blocking you also. So yes, it also looks like we've had some success of some type and we've lost it. Yeah, and it's really followed back by this card. There's some kind of failure that occurred and it was public. It's like the king fell off his throne here and then people were publicly aware of this. And that bit, whew, yeah, that bit. You've got the freedom to dream. So yeah, I can see you're real scared to move forward for your dreams. With all of this occurring here, I'll be really interested in seeing your clarifications. We also got played by someone, and maybe this is some of what led the king falling off the throne, led to the public failure. That was hard. Guys, I'm really sorry. Y'all have really kind of been through the ringer here. But we can change this. Don't let this get you down. This is just reading the energies of what you've been through. And we can definitely change this. The way this one's coming in with this reading, we've held our ground, but we come to the point of fighting so much for ourselves that we forgot to love. Maybe fighting perhaps this person who played us. We've got to remember to love ourselves and understand the pain that we're having within ourselves. Understanding the pain and fear that makes somebody act like this, that they have pain and fear, and that's what you're engaging in. It's egos, dueling egos, getting engaged with egos. An interesting meditation I had my higher self the other day was showing me my little one, as I like to see my ego as a small toddler, dueling with other egos. I liked that analogy because it's like your ego is holding a sword. Would you let a little child play with swords? No. And when you're getting engaged with people that are fighting with you, it's your little ego against their little ego, and they're both having a sword fight. Both of those two need to drop the swords. We need to go back to who we really are, the parent, the higher self. Let's get back there to who we really are. And love the little egos, they're in their pain, they're in their fears, and get some healing. That's definitely being followed by this. You can see all the amethyst here, amethyst crystal. This could be called for some of you. You can utilize this crystal to assist you. Get some healing here. We've got the high priestess here. You need to tune into your intuition, work with your guides, work with your guardian angels, work with your higher self. Get some healing here. That is a lot of what's blocking you. We have a lot of pain in these cards. Is what I'm seeing here. A lot of pain, a lot of feeling trapped. Trapped also in these memories of the past, that is some of that trapped. We're feeling overwhelmed, quite to the point we need to get help. Some of you are going to need coaching with this, therapy with this. You need to get help. We've got a lot of emotional pain here. Valid reasons for it, don't get me wrong, but we've got to clear these emotions and heal them. That's why we're really focused on the survival. All right, so let's clarify for you. Again, I'm going to pull up the entire row and start reading for you. I apologize, guys. This is a tough reading. But it doesn't mean that you're stuck here forevermore. You can get through it. A perfect example for you, I've been at rock bottom. Lost everything, ultimate depression. Couldn't feel any emotions, ultimate apathy. So you can get through this, and it can get better. I can assure you. Ego likes evidence, so let me be an evidence to you. Okay, let's see what I can get. I also like to take this opportunity and give a shout out to my subscribers. Thank you for being here. I love you so much. And my new subscribers, thank you for joining me. I'm so glad to have you here. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Glad to have you join us here too. And I also want to give you special thanks for all your likes and your comments and your subscribes and your bell notifications, as all of that helps me in the YouTube algorithm. And that helps me grow my channel and expand and reach out to more. So thank you for helping me help others. And I want to give a special thanks to the comments. I really enjoy those because I'm reading in the dark over here for many of you. So I love to see how they correlate and are relative to you. These are extra special. Okay, here we go. All right, we need two more. Oh, there's one. One more. I got two more, and that's okay. Alrighty. Yeah, this feeling overwhelmed. We definitely need to rein in the ego. I told you there's a lot of ego here. The ego is overwhelmed by its own pains, its own thoughts, its own clinging to the past, whatever's happened, whatever the bad has happened in the past. That is really forcing you to look at survival and not move forward to your dreams. You got dreams tugging at you too, with this same card coming here, and you really want to move forward, but what's blocking those dreams is the lock onto the past. And that's what's overwhelming you. So we definitely need to rein in that ego, surrender to our higher self. This also represents Cancer, if that is relative to any of you. Okay, and here we were feeling trapped. And again, this represents Capricorn. And based on this, what you've experienced, these failures in your past situation, they were on your fate line destiny, which is going to lead to greater good, which definitely is being affirmed. From your nostalgic past, the memories that you're letting go of, but you're really stuck on, the past, that being in the past, because it's not before you now, what's going to lead you to your happily ever after. I know this sounds like Greek to your ego, but the past was the past, and it cannot be forever going. And had it been, you enjoyed that to a degree. You were matching vibration to that at that moment. But your vibration is changing. You are changing. You are growing. You're evolving. You're expanding. So something new has befall you to offer you a happily ever after. So the old has to move out. You've got to let go of that past and move on out with it, so that you can go into the new, because your happily ever after is coming. Again, that's being reaffirmed here with your fate line destiny. Now, when I talk fate line destiny, Seqkat, what the hell are you talking about? Fate line destiny and free will. Let's talk about that. Fate line destiny. Source. All consciousness. It's playing games. We are avatars for it. It puts all its desires in you, your natural affinities. Why you have desires, why certain things are easy for you. It came here to play that game through you. It came here to play in that field of the desires, to experience those desires. That is your fate line destiny. That is what's calling you. Do you have the free will to thwart that? You absolutely do. What does it look like when you're following source? It looks like flow. You've got resources showing up for you, plenty of abundance, the proper people showing up that are in alignment with you, helping you make things easy. That's what it looks like when you're following your fate line destiny. What does it look like when you're using your free will to thwart that? Looks like stuckness. Looks like problems. Things are difficult. We're stuck. We're in pain. We can't get out. Perhaps what you experience here based on these cards. So it's time to surrender. Surrender to our higher self. Ask our higher self, what am I supposed to be moving towards? Because obviously my ego is not moving there. And a lot of this ego, is what I'm really seeing here, is we're stuck in the past. You've got to let this go, because you have a happily ever after waiting for you. You are not the person you were before when you were in this past and you're missing these good old days. You were a different person then than you are now. If you went back to those good old days, you wouldn't, right now, you wouldn't enjoy it as much. I know your ego is attached to that and thinks it would, but it would not. because you've changed and you're going to continue changing. Okay, so we've experienced some failure. Yes. And we've got memory here. Six of Cups is coming up again here. Memories of when before the fall. That's where the memories are. But there was a fall. Like I told you, you're not the same person. You did fall. The memories of when this was happy was before the fall. But there was a fall. You changed. And that's why things have changed. But that's okay, because it is going to ultimately lead to your happily ever after, because you're going to continue to evolve, and you're going to come to your happily ever after. That is the good news. Hang on to that. You have dreams tugging you, and your dreams are tugging you into a new direction. So what has to fall is the old stuff. The old stuff that are not going to be matched to the new that is calling you. That is the source within you, those desires it is planted in you. They were seeds inside of you. And you had to go through certain experiences in life to let those seeds start cracking open, to water, to sprout. But now that they're sprouting and they're going into a new fruit, you're going into a whole new direction. That is what's happening. Sorry guys, my hair is itching my nose. Okay, so yeah, there was some failure and some public failure. You're being assured here, you're going to navigate through the challenges of this with ease. So take heart. You're going to definitely go right through this with ease. Take some heart with that. Don't let this failure and focus on this failure get you. We were deceived by somebody. Somebody played us. Lost in their ego. Lost in their fear. With this card showing up, guys, I see some of you, maybe some of you were the players. Perhaps you played other people, and this is where you fell off your throne, and this was your public disgrace. For some of you, not all of you, because you're being called to cut this out and be who you are. Stop playing with the fear of your ego. That's for some of you. Some of you, be who you really are. Know that you are source, love, light, energy. Remember that they are also source, love, light, energy, but they are playing through the ego's perspective fully. They're fully duped into the story of their avatar, and this is why they played that. This can help you forgive them. And forgiving them is very important, because when we sit there and just blame them and hold the negative energy and repeat the story of what's gone on that was negative and bad, we hold on to that energy. It keeps us stuck in that past, which won't help you move forward in the future. So to forgive them doesn't mean that you're condoning the deed that they did. It means that you're releasing it and letting it go. Okay, you hurt me once, but you're not going to sit here and hurt me eternally 1,000 million more times, because I'm going to sit here and look at what you did to me 1,000 million more times. Because every time you entertain that memory, they're hurting you again and again. And you are the only one allowing that to happen. That one's on you. So that's how you resolve that. Come back to knowing who you really are, your source, love, light, energy. They are also source, love, light, energy, duped in their story. Don't get duped in your story and in your ego's avatar's perspective. Come back to the memory of who we really are and that we're playing a game. That will really help assist you. That will really help you in unblocking all of this deep down trudged in the story, so you can move forward into your dreams. Okay, so I told you, some of us were getting a little bit too righteous, defending ourselves to the point, got to be right over being love. And yeah, so you're being called in a new direction of your heart, a new journey that's of your heart. But there's grief here that you have to heal. You have to love yourself. You have to love them. Remembering again, both of you are source, love, light, energy. That's what's going to help you. Grief of the past, we definitely have to let go of that, because we're really stuck here. So we definitely got to do that. Get some healing, guys. That's what's going to help you there. Then you can flip this upright and move on forward with your new journey, your heartfelt dreams that you're being called here. That's what it's going to take. I've got a little bit of work to do, guys. Quite a bit of work to do. But you can get there. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so I told you here, you're being called, you need some healing here. Yeah, and then we've got the Knave of Pentacles, which is like, okay, we've got the Knave of Cups here and the Knave of Pentacles. And these are like new journeys that we're beginning here. This one's of the heart. This is where we don't believe, we don't feel loved and supported, that we can go for our journeys and manifest our desires into our actually relative reality. You can. You are fully loved and supported, and the universe has you. But we need to heal where you got off track and felt like you weren't supported. And oftentimes this can go back to childhood, what you experienced in your childhood, so you develop some paradigm beliefs that you don't have the love and support to go for what you want, that you're not worthy. So whether this is in childhood experiences or just in your experiences in later life that are impeding you, that is some of what we need to clear, those beliefs that we are not worthy of the good. Because bad is befalling me, so obviously I'm not worthy of the good. This is how ego thinks. It starts judging. It starts judging you. Well, if I was worthy of good, I would have good. So since I don't have the good, I'm not worthy of good. But at the same time, you've got to look in your life. What is good? Are you giving gratefulness for what is good in your life? That plays a role too, because it's not necessarily that you aren't worthy of good because your ego is saying you're not receiving good. It's just that ego is failing to look at the good and is looking only at the negative. So you need to start looking at what is good in your life. What do you love? What do you enjoy? Write those down. Be grateful for them. Put some focus on it. Bring that frequency up within you. Bring your own vibration up within you so that you can start attracting more, because the world, the outer world, is always reflecting what's going on in your inner world. And this is some of the place where we need to start healing our inner world, right there. And you're being assured you have the power to do all of this. You've got the Emperor here. You have the power to do all of this healing and clean all of this up within you. And you have the power then to go for those dreams and seriously to live the happily ever after, which you're being assured. That is the good news. You are definitely being assured of this. You are on your fate line of destiny. And coming back to this fate line of destiny with the Priestess card here, some of you are spiritually gifted and you've gone through some hard knocks, because this is going to help you serve others. Because when you're spiritually gifted for a reason, and that is to serve and help others. You know, there's some people out there that they want the spiritual woo-woo gifts to be powerful, and they don't understand. When you have these gifts, it is to serve others. It's not for a selfish thing to look cool and fancy. It is to serve others. So some of you have gone through this to learn and understand what it's like so that you can help others, because you know what it's like being there. And that's the only way you can really best help others, when you truly understand. So that's what some of you there, I can really see this coming through with that impression with this one. Okay, so let's go ahead now and wrap you up with an Angels and Ancestor Oracle. Tough reading, guys, but you're going to make it. Hang in there. Keep going. Keep moving forward. Be who you are. Know who you are. Your happily ever after is coming. You're on your fate and destiny. Okay. Yep, this is perfect. Oh, you got two. A sneaky one. Okay. Protection, guardian, drop your shields. Yeah. Gotta do that. Ego is fighting. It's pressing against people. Especially I told you with this one right here. We forgot to love. Being righteous. Being right over love. Do you want to be right or do you want to be loved? By Neil Donald Walsh. I love that question. It's absolutely great. Great question. I love that. Love is your greatest power. Love is how you manifest any and all of your desires. Because love is your essence. It's who you truly are. And that is why it is your power. When you can go back to that, you can go back to your true power. And you can go back to your true alignment. That's how you feel happily ever after. But you have to drop your shields. You have to drop your shields with yourself, fighting against others, fighting against yourself, and all this resistance, blaming them, blaming you. Got to release it all. Drop those shields. Surrender to your higher self. Surrender to your guardian angel. Surrender to your spirit teams. They got you. They can protect you. They can assist you. They can help you. Because it's the ego that keeps you impeded. And then you have the stack. Trust and thrive. You know, you have dreams that are tugging at you, and that's what's really making it very challenging right now, guys, honestly. When those dreams are tugging at you and your ego is like, I am not going there. The pain and tug you're feeling is this resistance here. Let me explain this to you. Your higher self's here and it's in alignment, okay? And your higher self's, I want you to thrive. And when you're here and you're in alignment with me, you're good and you're flowing and you're thriving, and I've got you going straight to your dreams. But you got your ego way out here. Oh, hell no, I'm not going there. I've been in pain, I've experienced this, and so did this to me, and so did that, and I screwed up, and I did this, and I did that. I'm not going there, I'm in pain. When your ego's out here, all of this right here is resistance. And all of this space right here is pain. What you got to do is get that ego to come right back over here and come in alignment with your higher self. The resistance is gone. Then you're in flow. You're on that heartline destiny path. Then you're flowing. Then you're thriving. And then you're feeling and experiencing your happily ever after. So what you're having to heal is the space that your ego is forcing here with its resistance. Because it's wanting to look at the past. And it's wanting to blame. It's wanting to look at some good old days. And it wants to stay in those good old days. But then it's looking at the failures and where it fell and where other people portrayed it. It's looking at all of that. It's got to stop looking at the story of what happened. Because all of that is just story. And come back to who you really are. One of the biggest mistakes ego makes is believing it's its story. Biggest mistake. It is not its story. It is love, light, source, energy. And love, light, source, energy is just playing a story through you. But you really are source, love, light, energy. So trust and thrive. That's calling for you to surrender to your higher self. Come back to this high priestess energy. Heal. Tune back into your spiritual self. Tune back into your intuition. Get to work with your guides and guardian angels. Your higher self. Get back there. Get back on your spiritual path, guys. Got some work to do. You can do it. I know you can. Ego loves evidence. My ego has been where your ego has been, and I'm not there anymore. I'm in a much, much better place. So use that for evidence. Use that for evidence. You'll make it. I believe in you. You got this. Until next time, much love and much light. Okay, welcome. If you chose Spirit Cat number 3 for this week's Pick a Card reading, what is blocking you? And remember, this reading is timeless. So keep in mind, this is a general reading, so I have this tuned to many of you and your unique relative stories. So tune in to what aligns with your particular story. And I do offer personal readings if you would like one of those, and you can find the links to those in the description box below. Okay, so for your theme card, you received Wild. Meet Samson. He is a shimmering connection of wildness and strength. He lives perpetually under the full moon. With limitless abandon, he races over the hills, feeling the perfect harmony of his body moving unhindered by thoughts, unfettered by beliefs of who he should be or how he should act. Samson is fully himself without questions or excuse. If you've been the oh-so-proper house cat for too long, step outside and awaken your precious wild self underneath your longings and join Samson under the moon's wild light. Okay, so for this one, what is blocking you? I'm getting for some of you structure, limitations, a box, beliefs. You've got, you're boxed in somehow, some way. And Samson here is encouraging you and inviting you to bust out of that box. Bust out of those structures. Bust out of those beliefs. Bust out of the things that are holding you back. That's my initial impressions. We will go into the tarot. So I'll pull a full row here and then I'll start reading for you. Ooh, did we get it all in one go here? That's going to be pretty wild if we did. I think we did, guys. There you're ready to talk. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right here. Okay. So you're having desires, and you're having desires to create your legacy, but you're not making true intentions. You need to make a map. You need to plan out some intentions to create this legacy. My guess is we are feeling like we can't. We are feeling like it's those structures that are limiting us, making us believe we can't have this. Because I can't do the XYZ thing that would require me to have this, because that's outside my rules, my beliefs, my capabilities, which is going back to limitations of some type. I don't have enough resources, I don't have the support, my family would be upset with me, something along those lines, or that's not right, that's not kosher, something along those lines. But don't worry, your guides are coming in and they're here to help you knock this out. But they are giving you fair warning. It is time to listen to the nudges to start planning and making the intentions and deciding what you want and start working towards it. Because if you don't take those baby steps, they're going to come in and knock it out, whatever is in your way that is impeding you, whatever is your block. But it's the tower comes crashing down painfully, and the ego hates that big change like that. So take those baby steps. Now, I gather from this is a type of life lesson. We're really trying to knock something big out. We're trying to bust out of that box and come into the freedom of who we really are, because we really are the source love light energy, and our ego likes to just block us down into the little perspective of who we are. And this is a life lesson that we're learning. That is one of the perceptions and impressions I'm getting from this. I'm also getting from this that there are some skills that you need to acquire, or some learning that you are having to do, because you are on a new journey of passion, of what fires you up, and it's always great to be on that journey. But before you can get it really going, there is a little bit of a delay, because there is some preparation here that we need to do. So there is some type of learning to do. So it could even be this life lesson of busting out of the box. It could be that stepping out of the box and start taking those baby steps in a new direction. It is time to do that, and that's what you're doing. So that is what we're doing here. But you're on your way, and you can be successful, but we've got a little bit of work to do here. Now, you do have some family support of some type, and I am immediately getting it. I don't hear this very often with this card, very often at all. I am really hearing it loud and clear. Your spirit team is screaming, we have got you, we have got your support. So your spirit team, your guides, your guardian angels, stellar guides, fairies, whomever you work with, ascended masters, or whomever's guiding you and you may be unaware, ancestors, they got you. They are working on you. That is some of your family support. For other of you, you very well may have some type of family support, and you might know whom this is. Not necessarily always biological family. It could be family of people that are like-minded with you and a type of interest that you're in. You'll know who this is. It could even be work family, a project family, whatever. Good news is the sun is shining. Everything is working out in your highest good and alignment. And it's reversed, and that's okay, because it still means everything's working out in your highest good alignment. You're just having a little struggle believing that, and that's because the ego, it is hard for the ego to believe those things. So the ego is the one limiting you in, because of those structures, those belief systems. It's the conditioning. The ego is operating under that conditioning. But you are making a decision. You are feeling this tug. You are feeling that tug, and you're at the door making the decision. A recommendation would be follow your heart. Surrender to your higher self. Ask for help. Ask the angels to interfere. When you ask for the help, it makes it so much easier for them to help you. Because you have free will. You always have free will. And they don't want to cross over and mess up your free will. So when you ask for help, it makes it easier. So yeah, because we're kind of feeling out of sorts, and we're not feeling like ourselves. And if you're in that threshold of busting out of a box, the limited structure, a societal conditioning, and then busting out of that and coming into new, you are going to feel out of sorts, because the ego identifies itself with a familiarity. The ego identifies itself with what it knows. So if it has to come into a new role, it feels like it doesn't have any identity, and then that feels like annihilation to the ego. So what's blocking you? Fear of annihilation, fear of death. The ego fears its own death. And when it happens like this is when I like to see my ego's a toddler. Many occasions I see it as a toddler, and I have a talk with it. And I go, okay, I understand that you have this self-identity with this perspective of being this limited person. But you're not going to cease to exist. You're going to exist in a better form, a more fun form, where you're going to have more freedom and you're going to enjoy yourself even more. So give it a little pep talk. Definitely tune in to your intuition. Get your intuition to guide you. Again, surrender to your higher self. Get those messages. Surrender to your angels. Surrender to your guides. Get those messages. This one also represents Pisces, if that is relative to any of you, perhaps yourself, or maybe whomever you might be engaged in your particular situation. So this is looking pretty good, guys. We just have a little bit of work to do. It feels bigger than it is because the ego doesn't like change. But you're really not that stuck. You just got to bust it. And your guides are here to help you do that. So let's go ahead now and clarify for you. Okay. Again, I'm going to pull up the entire row and then start reading for you. And while I shuffle, I'd like to take this time and give a shout out to my subscribers. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for being here with me. My new subscribers, thank you for joining me. I love having you. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad to have you here with me. And I also want to give special thanks to all the likes and the subscribes and the comments and the bell notifications that you employ, because all of that helps me in the YouTube algorithm, which helps my channel grow, which helps me help more. So thank you for helping me help others. That is really big to my heart. So thank you so much. And I also want to give special thanks for all the comments that you give me, and particularly because I'm over here reading in the dark for many of you, so I love to see how they are relative to you. I really enjoy those. So thank you so much for that as well. All right, let's see. Let's get two more. That didn't quite flip, guys. Almost. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Real flips. Okay, so we need to make a plan. And we need to make an intention. And yes, we need to be moving towards, whoa. No, this is the Knight of Pentacles. Again, you've got some family support. So we need to be making a plan and an intention and mapping out. There may be someone in your family that can assist you with this. Maybe someone that is good with law of attraction to help bust out of your structures. Or somebody that can help you stretch. Stretch, get out. Gotta get out in our comfort zone, and that sucks, I know. Comfort zone, oh, boy, do I know, I hate that one. So maybe there's someone, family support, maybe not necessarily biological, that can help you stretch out of that comfort zone and start heading down that new road towards what you want. I know it's uncomfortable, but that's what it's gonna take. Love your little ego, validate it, hug it, like, well, I know this is scary, but we're gonna like the end result. Give it the comfort, it needs it. Okay. So yeah, because we're wanting to build our legacy, but we're not if we're not employing this and we stay in a limited little box. And I see a little bit of this is about rules. For you in this particular case, this is about rules. You've got rules in your mind, conditioning in your mind that is really holding you in the box. You feel like you're breaking rules. The Devil card's not here, but Capricorns, I know you're one of them. I'm a Capricorn. We're rule binding. Any of you, there's some type of conditioning rules that you got going on in your mind, and you feel like you can't break those rules. It's okay. Break them. This also represents Libra if this is relative to anybody. Not a normal reading that I do with this card, but that's what I'm getting with this one, for this impression. All right, so that Tower card coming in. Yeah, the guides are going to help you out, which is going to put you on the Ace of Pentacles, which begins you on the journey of your Ten of Pentacles, which is your legacy, which thus far you aren't able to do, haven't been able to do, because you've been structured and limited in those rules. Plus those rules, and you flip this right up, and this will lead you right to that. So it is a new journey that you're starting, knocking down those walls, knocking down those rules. Means this journey that you're on is going to be positive. And this is a life lesson, and the things we need to learn, and it's learning to stretch and get out of that comfort zone. Again, new journey with another ace, Ace of Wands. What fires you up? That passion, where do you really want to go? Which we had the Ace of Wands follow that too. So we're like just being sandwiched here by the Ace of Wands. But this one's in reverse because there's preparation you need to make, and that's what learning you have to do. And it's busting out of that box, learning that. So this is assuring you success. Learning this lesson will assure you the success. So that success is definitely being assured for you. And once you get those preparations and this learning down, this is what's going to bring you into balance, which is this 2 of Pentacles from the Ace of Pentacles, which is leading you down the road of the 10 of Pentacles, which will be upright once you get this figured out. Okay, so again, we're moving back to this family support. And we've got the Queen of Swords here. So I don't know if you're unaware of who can assist you, but the whole situation of being in the box, you want to come out and you want to see this from a higher perspective. You want to get this into a neutral perspective. Your ego being stuck in those roles, being stuck in those conditions that are holding you back, what is blocking you, this is what it is. You need to step out, get out of the story, get out of the ego. Remember, there is a much bigger plan. We've got Source playing through you. Source is the overall consciousness and wants to experience many, many, many things. And it has chosen you to play through you, to play through your avatar. We need to remember this, and that's what it's about. It's about the big game, not these little games that the ego gets stuck and played in. Okay, stop for a moment being duped by the story. The ego gets really duped by the stories. It's just like you went into a video game and you went to play your character, and you started role-playing your character. Role-play game, so I understand this. But you get so locked into that character that you believe you're the character, and you forget that you're the player playing that character. Source is the player playing you. We need to go back into that perspective and understand that. Get out of the ego's visage for a moment and remember the bigger picture. That makes it easier for you to bust out of that box, because it's scary. So I know it's scary because everything's working at your highest alignment good, but you're not believing it. And you're definitely here with the Knight of Swords being saying, yes, go for what you want. Move towards that. That is the direction you want to go. Go for those things that are calling you. Bust those conditionings, bust those rules, break them. This is a decision that you're sitting here thinking about and you're pondering. And it's the Ace of Cups. Man, you're getting all the aces here. New journey, new journey, new journey. There's a call to the heart. Now, with this conditioning that you have, there's an attachment of some type. Rules, conditioning, beliefs, system, there is an attachment. That attachment is going to go back to that identity. We need to release that identity because that attachment is holding that heart, and it's the grief to let it go. Once you can let it go, then you can move in that direction. Then you can start heading down the positivity of attaining your heart's desires. But this is where you let go of this attachment to the old structured way that's impeding you and holding you back. Okay, and then we've got, you're feeling out of sorts as you're stretching. You're stretching out of who you once were, completely boxed into even just the idea of entertaining the idea of coming out of that box. Makes you start feeling a little out of whack. This is not because your identity's being lost a little just with the mere thought of it. And this is making you feel overwhelmed, and that's understandable. So sit down with your ego and have a talk. I know you're attached to this identity. I know this is all unfamiliar, and this is scaring you because you don't have any data to start predicting what is before you, to start getting the idea that you're safe. And I understand you're fearful. I understand you're scared that you're not safe. Our higher self has got us. Our higher self will protect us. The source came here to experience things. It will keep us safe, and we'll get to enjoy what our higher self will bring us. So have a talk with it. Reassure it. Comfort it. You definitely want to do that. Definitely do that. Okay, and then we need to heed our intuition. Because if we don't, because the ego, when it plants its seeds, they don't come in. They don't harvest. The ego wants to plant these seeds and it wants it to grow, but it doesn't work because you didn't come here to fulfill the ego's survival desires. It came down here and started getting smacked on earth and go, oh my God, I'm scared. I won't do anything. He didn't come here to do that. You came here as source through your avatar to experience those desires the source has put through you. So you've got to plant the seeds of the higher self, and those will come in and those will grow. So this is tuning into your intuition. You will know to tune into your higher self, surrender to your higher self, let the higher self plant the seeds, water the seeds, grow the seeds. Then you can live and experience this new growth. Go on the wild side here with Samson. Bust out of that box. Experience that joy and the desire. This is what's been blocking you. Beliefs, limitations, conditioning, structure, old ways of doing things. You need to bust out of that. Okay, let's wrap you up with an angels and ancestor oracle. 11:22 happens to be the time. I'm going to share that with you because repeating numbers are actually helpful. And those repeating numbers, so perhaps they're helpful to you. If you've been seeing those, and I actually have a video on the angel numbers. You can check that out as well. If you've been seeing those numbers, you'll see what the message they're holding for you at this moment. Okay, so you got 2 cards. Yes, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so you got the drum, dream and journey. So it's hard to do this in the relative world because it's not familiar, it's scary. So let's go into the inner world, inner mind, and meditation. Maybe even go on a shamanic journey if you have those abilities. If not, maybe you can get a shaman to help you. Go on YouTube and listen to some shamanic drums to pull you into a journey. And dream and journey and experience in that meditation you having the desire that's calling you. And meditate on this daily, feeling and experiencing that desire. Because as you do this on a daily basis, your brain is a tool to register reality. It's how it perceives reality. It knows no difference in this relative reality as you sit here than when you dream at night. Both feel just as real. Or if you meditate, that's just as real to it too. Or if you're sitting in a movie, let me tell you how tricked the brain is. I can remember one time I was sitting in a car, and the car was parked and it was completely off, and I was sitting in a parking lot. And somebody started backing up behind me, and suddenly my car started going forward like crazy. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm sitting here hitting the brake. I'm like, how the heck is it going forward? It's completely off. I'm hitting the brake like crazy and I'm still moving forward. And then the car backs completely up and I realized I was never moving forward at all, one bit. It's because of the emotion of the car moving backwards gave my brain the perception that I was moving forward and I was never moving. That is how tricky the brain is. The brain is perceiving realities. So it knows no difference in your 3D relative reality than one if you meditate. And if you meditate daily, I love this one from Joe Dispenza, meditation is becoming familiar with. And you meditate daily, experiencing your desire, you will become familiar with doing that new thing, busting out of that structure, your societal conditioning. He also talks about the neurons that wire together, fire together, that's what fires it up. You've got to retrain that brain. And he really talks about this. So Joe Dispenza, if you go and look into about that one. So go into that meditation daily, meditating what it is you're wanting to do. You're feeling blocked. That's one way to do it, and that will really assist you and help you. Will really help you because you'll become familiar with it and it won't be as scary. You won't have to have it really towered, super knocked down. Those could be some of your baby steps to make it easy. Remember, that's leading you to the Ace of Pentacles of you getting your legacy. Now, perfect 2 here. Hunter, track down your fears and your desires. So you have these desires and you know what they are. They're starting to tug at you. They're calling you. That's why you're here. You wouldn't be at this reading if it wasn't. They're calling you. But the Hunter's saying track down the fears that are impairing you. And your fears really are showing up. Some type of conditioning, some kind of rule, some kind of belief system, something that's locking you and keeping you boxed in. So you want to track down those fears. What big, bad, scary thing is going to happen if I do this thing that busts me out of my belief system, busts me out of my rule, busts me out of my conditioning, busts me out of that? Answer that question. And then what's so bad about that after that? Just keep bringing that question down. Just keep bringing that question down. If I did this, well, Aunt Sue will be mad at me. Okay, so what's so bad if Aunt Sue's mad at me? Well, she might yell at me. Okay, what's so bad if she yells at me? Well, then I feel ashamed. Yeah, you're starting to get to a core. A core. Just that type of thing, that type of questioning. Get down to those questionings. These will really help you right there. So you're not in a bad place at all, guys. You really aren't. It's not heaviness that you have to heal. This is really looking good. You just got to bust out a little bit. Bust out and come in to being who you really are, which is the source love light energy who is limitless. You are free to be free. Welcome to the source. Just gotta get that ego to believe. Line that ego right up. Okay, guys, you got this. Until next time, much love and much light.